Okay, Robin, thanks. Let's get more on what's next now with the chair of the House Government Oversight Committee, GOP Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Congressman, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Right after former Director Mueller was appointed yesterday, you said in a tweet, Mueller is a great selection, impeccable credentials, should be widely accepted, yet you also think he shouldn't have been appointed. Explain what you mean.
Well, I don't know that a special counsel was warranted at this point. I have not seen the direct, full evidence of an actual crime. And I do believe that the career officials at the FBI are true professionals. They've done a great job, and they should be allowed to continue to do that job. But with that said, I do think Director Mueller is probably the best possible choice they could have made.
I guess what the acting Attorney General Rod Rosenstein said when he was appointing this prosecutor yesterday, he said these are unique circumstances, assuming he was referring to the fact that former Director Comey was leading the investigation, was fired by the president, and now we know about these notes from Director Comey as well.
Yeah, and we'd like to see those notes. You know, there was a New York Times article that even the reporter has not seen those. We have asked the Department of Justice to see those documents. I've said that if we need to subpoena them, we'll subpoena them. But we really do need to see the full content of these materials and then also talk to Director Comey.
You've set a hearing for next Wednesday. I know you want Director Comey to testify at that hearing on Wednesday. Have you heard from him yet?
I haven't. You know, his telephone number changed since he left government service, and so I used to be able to text and call him, but I do believe he has my telephone number. I do hope to chat with him, but to comply with House rules, I set the date for next Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and hopefully we can have the hearing then.
Is there any conflict, though, now that a special counsel has been appointed where you might see the Justice Department, former Director Comey say, no, we're going to give all our materials over to the special counsel rather than testify to Congress?
Well, look, the House of Representatives has its own equities and its own interest in this, and just because there's an investigation or work being done at the Department of Justice doesn't excuse the Congress from doing its own work and getting to the bottom of things. And so that's hardly an excuse that has worked in the past, and it's not going to work moving forward.
So you see nothing that would prevent former Director Comey from testifying before your committee?
I really don't. I mean, I want to have the conversation with him and allow us to share that information. But no, I do think in the light of day, in a public setting, he should be able to tell us about not only the materials, if they're there, and I question whether or not they're actually there, but if they're there, and then how did he take that? Well, nobody's seen them. Even the reporter that did the story hasn't seen them. Nobody that I know of, even the reporter, has not actually seen these documents.
But we do know that Director Comey had a history of taking notes of conversations. We've seen his testimony to the Congress before.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, look, clearly, we're taking this very seriously, and I'm believing what's in there, but, you know, I want to have some skepticism, and I'm not going to presuppose the conclusion either. I want to look at the information and hear from the person that actually wrote it. I think that's the fair way, and Republicans and Democrats can question him in the light of day in a public setting.
Finally, on another front, the New York Times is reporting this morning that President Trump's team knew that General Flynn was under investigation for secretly working for Turkey during the campaign, yet the president hired him anyway. Does this raise questions for your committee?
General Flynn, as a former officer, should have never taken money from Turkey, nor should he have taken money from the Russians. You just can't do that unless you seek permission and get permission. He evidently didn't get that. That's why we referred the matter to the Department of the Army for this final determination.
Congressman Chaffetz, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, George.